Right, I have started the recording, so now I'll go back and share. So welcome everyone to, I've labelled it Accreditation presentation seminar and how you do that with the authority, but I'm going to cover quite a lot of other aspects and information that really links everything together from our accreditation and competency framework. Some of you have heard some of this, some of you have heard other bits, but I'm hoping this is going to join everything all together. So I've got a brief agenda to try and keep me on track and try and keep this available to you when you go back and search this. This is being recorded and will go up on our YouTube site, of which the links will be available at the end of the session. So a brief overview as to who we are. Then I will talk through the accreditation levels, the pathways, how that links to the competency framework, and the standards that have linked that together, what the process is, and then other ways to get engaged with the authority and understand the other work that we're involved in, and join other sessions like this. Then I will close with the Q&A, so do please feel free to ask questions as we go through and put them in the question and answer session. So a bit about me, to give those of you that don't know me on a call an overview as to sort of where I fit in and how I've come to be in front of you today. So I've worked in project control now nearly 19 years. I've sat on the working groups and do still sit on the working groups for the National Occupational Standards and the Apprenticeship Standards for project control. Whilst I was at ECITB, delivered the first apprenticeship cohort for project control at Richmond College. And whilst I was with industry, I helped and guided nearly 90 people through levels 3, 4 and 5 of the vocational qualifications for project control. So had a very broad understanding and knowledge and critical friend base on the accreditation pathways, the competency frameworks and the qualifications for that length of time before joining the authority, of which I did sort of October 2024. And my primary role is to drive engagement, membership and deliver the strategy for the authority. So sort of be the figurehead for the authority. But who are we? We are a membership-based organisation. We work purely for you, for our members, to deliver project control, the disciplines of, and help you get your own professional development through a series of opportunities that are available to you, and I'll show those. But we work across every sector of UK PLC and overseas, and we cover, and we have members now covering a huge variety of skills. The circle on the purple circle, crossover of roles, versus the crossover of industries being the orange circle. And I would say both those circles keep expanding every time we have a new member. And I talk to a new company about how they can engage project control and their personnel within the business. So we work with you as members, non-members, work with the employer. We work as a professional body alongside those of the Engineering Council. We work alongside government. We work alongside ECITB, to name 3 of our largest stakeholders. And we offer all of these benefits as you would expect as a membership body. So information and advice, we do that through a series of different ways, through webinars like today, through our website, through membership journals, through technical articles. We provide newsletters to our members of various information, from being sort of internally focused information to external collaborative engagement that we're in. We offer professional recognition, which is obviously what I'm going to talk through in a lot greater detail shortly. We offer networking. We encourage you to make new contacts. We encourage you to broaden and share, your knowledge and your expertise. We encourage you to keep up to date with industry. We do that through our annual conference. We do that through regular webinars, through regular face-to-face. And again, more of that information will be shared as I go through this webinar. We also offer career development, and again, going to be covering that in a great deal, but we do offer assessing capabilities and assessing opportunities for you to undertake the vocational qualifications in project control. We also deliver training courses to organisations across the core disciplines of project control and chartership and accreditation opportunities. So again, what I will be covering, I think I've covered those. The areas that I haven't covered are, we do our networking through communities of practice and our regional groups. And I know a number of you on this call that are members have signed up to those. If you haven't, again, I'll share with you some of those that are available and would really encourage you to have a look at the membership portal that is there for you and how you can get involved and what you can get involved in. Membership levels, because I know there are some of you that are non-members on this call. Membership is really easy to get involved in, and I will cover the website off, but it's a question of going to our website, become a member on the top right-hand side, and with a click of a couple of buttons and your CV, there are 5 membership routes available. If you are studying vocational qualifications and or are linked to the apprenticeship standards for level 3 and level 6, your membership is free. If you've joined your organisation as a graduate in project control, that is half price compared to full membership. Associate is also sort of 1 to 5 years of industry experience, knowledge, and they often come through skills through transferring from different industries into the profession, or not as a student graduate. Full membership, and then we also fellow membership, which is our highest tier of membership, is achieved without being a full member. There is criteria that you need to meet, and that needs to be explained when you apply. But we also enable fellows to join. Individual membership is increasing exponentially. If I compare us to our colleagues under the Engineering Council institutes, so the likes of IMechE, IChemE, IET, for example, we have one of the fastest growing membership numbers. And you can see on there well over 800 members since the introduction of our membership portal last April. And company members is also growing. I signed another company member yesterday, and this slide gives you some of the breadth and depth of our company members. And again, you can see that they meet across all areas of project control, so small specialists, large multinational organizations, and we are gathering a larger number of clients now. So as we'll see, Heathrow, BAE, AWE, for example. So the breadth and depth of our company members is growing, and if you want to understand more, please do reach out to me after this call. But now to the meat of the presentation: accreditation and competency. We offer 4 tiers of accreditation aimed from when you first join, so enrolled status, all the way up to certified. As I said at the beginning, enrolled, which is for the early careers project control professionals. You can do this with or without a qualification, and I will link that shortly. Then we have registered, then we have incorporated, which again can be linked directly to vocational qualifications and the apprenticeship standard. And then our highest tier is certified. That equals chartership. As a organisation, as a business, we are working with and will be applying for our Privy Council acknowledgement that we can offer chartership. Certified at the moment is exactly the same process as chartership. If you go through certified, the process is identical, and when we have our Privy Council approval, you will get that change to chartership. What I put alongside on this slide is the fact that people come into project control from very different areas. And if I was to stop sharing and see you all and ask you the question, where did you start your project control life? I would imagine I would get lots of different answers. And the reason why I've got CEng, iEng, and Eng Tech at 3 of the tiers here is because we do recognise that many people have come into project control with an engineering qualification, and therefore we work with the IHE at the moment to enable you to get your chartered engineering as a project controller, your iEng incorporated status, or Eng Tech as an engineer, but delivering project control as your daily function, but delivering engineering projects. So that is a route that is available to you, and I can talk separately to you on how you do that. But this webinar is purely about the project control route with the project control competencies and our accreditation pathway. We have now, since last November, expanded the accreditation pathway to not just be a 4-tier pathway, but we have enabled it to be achieved if you are a dedicated estimating professional, for example, a dedicated planning professional, cost or project controller. And these are the post-nominals that you will get as you look to go through the accreditation pathway that is relevant to you at the time that you are taking and wanting to be recognised as a professional in project control. To explain that in a bit more detail, I'm just going to go to this slide which really is a road and shows many of you probably a similar route and trajectory that you have taken over your career. I'm going to start at the top with the project controls technician. And the reason I'm doing that is because the vocational qualification and the project controls apprenticeship is a generic project controls qualification and apprenticeship standard. It links directly to our enrolled status, and I will show you that shortly. So starting at the beginning of your journey, so starting here at the beginning of your journey on the enrolled, you will get your enrolled PCP, enrolled project controls professional. You may then stay within a project control route for the next sort of 5-6 years, and that will enable you to actually demonstrate to your employer or future employer that you have achieved your registered status, so registered project control professional. But we also know that although you might have started as a generic project controller or similarly an estimator, so we could put estimating at the top there instead of a project control technician, you may well move through the disciplines, particularly if you started generic, and you may well actually go, well, actually, I feel much more at home about being a planner. So you could do your incorporated, you're registered as a planning engineer. And as a planning manager, you could get your certified planning manager. But equally, if you, depending on where your journey goes and depending on the organizations you work for, you may go back into a project control route. So, 10, 15, 20 years time or more, as we're getting a number of certified applicants through that are now wanting to demonstrate their industry experience of 30, 35 years plus, you can become a certified project control professional. So a bit of a roadway, a bit of an easy picture to understand this pathway here and of the post-nominals. This is a recent change. As I said, it's been implemented since November, and we are getting quite a number of applicants now on this route and on this pathway at the various different levels. But how have we put that together? How is it there available to you? What do you need to do? What do you need to understand that you need to demonstrate? And I said a few minutes ago that we have linked this to the project control qualifications, of which there are only 2. There's the vocational qualification level 3 and the level 6, which also underpin the apprenticeship standards. But those were all written against standards that we have put together into our competency matrix. We launched our competency matrix this time last year, where we looked at UK spec, so the underwriting core of the Engineering Council, of which, if you've got colleagues who have got their chartership in mechanical engineer, chartership in chemical engineering, they worked along the same UK spec. So we've used that as the foundations. We have then put that together with the British Standard, which was recently published, and the National Occupational Standards. But we've written it in English, or we've written it against Bloom's taxonomy, which again is the overriding principle to make it easy to understand. And the picture that's on the slide here shows you really the words that we have used. So enrolled is remember, understand. Registered is, okay, so what do we do next? Well, we apply what we have learned, what we've remembered. So we apply the facts, the rules, the concepts. The next level up, incorporated, analyze, evaluate. So once we've applied them, what do we do with them then? How do we demonstrate that? How do we evaluate? How do we know they're right? How do we know they're wrong and challenge them? So that's incorporated. And then certified is, you tend to be then at the level within your organizations of actually creating the processes, creating the procedures, creating and giving down the tasks to your personnel that work for you. So that's how we've put the competency matrix together. Mentioned a moment ago that we've underpinned that with UK spec, the British Standard for Project Control, and the National Occupational Standards. Many of you on the call might be going, well, what actually do those mean, particularly with the BSI and the National Occupational Standards? So the British Standard was put together and was published 2025. So again, really new, but it's the overarching standard now with the British Standard Institute, and we are working with them to make that an international standard. So it is soon to become an ISO, and it gives the overarching demonstration, the overarching points of knowledge against all aspects of project control. And I've put here for you to have a look at afterwards. And those of you that are members, this is visible on our website for members in the journals area, in the technical publications area. An example of the British Standard that has been delivered to an international project, so a project that is based and delivered out of Canada. It was done with one of our company members, one of the UK PLC's leading consultancies. So it's in use. It is being delivered. It is being used to demonstrate whether a project is failing or is or is going well. I would encourage you to read the example to understand how it was put in place. But those of you that attended our conference may well have heard this presentation, but it is being delivered. It is out there now. But fundamental to all of that, to the British Standard and to our competency, is the National Occupational Standards of Project Control. These have been in existence for nearly 30 years. We, as the ACOSD, have worked along the ECITB for all of those 30 years to ensure that there is a national occupational standards for project control, and they again cover all the competences that you would expect. And as it says at the bottom, then NOSs are used to develop vocational training qualifications, they're used to define your job roles and responsibilities, and they're used for CPD and workplace competence. We have embedded those solely now within our competency framework, and we're using the word competency. We're not using the word qualification framework because, well, again, I've said a couple of times, there are only two qualifications for project control, and we know, having mentioned it already, that you have all come from different areas, so you bring together a collection of knowledge, skills and behaviours, and what we have done is put them all together. So this picture sort of demonstrates that competency iceberg, the knowledge and the skills at the top, but below that, and vitally important, are the values that you work alongside, why you work alongside, why you do the work you do. and the traits and characteristics and behaviours that actually bring a good project control person together. So I've mentioned competencies a lot of time, but what are they? This circle here has the 19 competencies that we have based our framework against, which maps against the accreditation pathway, that also builds into the national occupational standards are against, and the British standard are against. By reading this slide, I hope many of you recognise many of those competencies that you actually work against in your day-to-day job, whether you be a planning manager, an estimating apprentice, or whether you're a senior project control manager. You will have had engagement with or have got engagement with all of these 19 competencies. I'm not going to read those words out. They're very tiny on my laptop, but they demonstrate to you how we have put the competency together. So on the left-hand side of our document, of which is 5-6 pages long, and I'm going to show you a couple of other examples. This one is the governance and insurance. The left-hand side has actually what the competency is and how that relates to the Engineering UK spec. And as I've said, it covers the knowledge, skills and behaviours. And it goes through the 4 pathways of enrolled, registered, incorporated and certified professional. And then on the right, we have actually listed the exact competencies for you to cross-check that against. So A1, A2, B1, B2, C2, C3 for the Engineering Council competencies, which are the behavioural aspects of the Engineering Council competencies. And then if I move that, I can see that that links to the NOSes of PC 134, 138, 118 and sections 4, 5, 6 of the British Standard. Just a couple of the words. So under enrolled is under behaviours, demonstrable awareness of governance principles. If we take that to certified, where if you remember I said that on the Bloom's taxonomy is create, advocate for ethical governance and strategic assurance integration to influence organisational performance and stakeholder confidence under behaviours. Under knowledge for certified, design and implement, so design being create and implements governance strategies that integrate assurance, risk and quality management systems across complex project, programme and portfolio and environments. So you can see significant word changing between enrolled and certified to give you that demonstration of, early careers 3 to 5 years, senior careers 10, 15, 20 years plus. Hopefully, yes. And I've just copied a couple more here. So planning for effective control and scope management. So a couple more. And again, if we look at the words under scope management, for example, under enrolled, demonstrate understanding of the key elements of project, programme and portfolio scope and describe how that scope influences that planning. We then go to certified, where we have design. So create again, design and lead scope management strategies that align with project, programme or portfolio delivery models and integrate with organisational governance. Under behaviours, advocate for that. So again, thinking about that iceberg picture, it's your motives, your traits, your behaviours, absolutely under certified. You will need to evidence and demonstrate as you go through. Put some of that into context. I've mentioned already the level 3 qualification and the level 6 qualification. We have written the competency framework. Enrolled equals these two. If you know of anybody or you yourself are undertaking the level 3 qualification or level 3 apprenticeship, you are automatically entitled to claim your enrolled status if you are a member. And having already said that if you're not a member and if you are studying those, membership is free. There is a small admin fee to pay, but that's essentially it. You are entitled to claim your enrolled status, so that first tier of professional accreditation if you're doing your level 3. If you're undertaking your level 6, that comes in, as I've said, at the incorporated status. And what that means is, again, you provide us with the evidence, and I will show what you then need to do a professional interview, which is, if you're doing the apprenticeship, is very similar to the endpoint assessment of the apprenticeship. But again, it's almost a fast track tier, maps against what is required for the incorporated status of our accreditation pathway. They link directly to that. Just spoken about it briefly, but to show you in a very simple table. Enrolled via the recognised qualification route, simply fill in the application form. That's all you have to do. You can achieve enrolled without the qualification, and then here you need to fill in the application form. You need to do the self-benchmark, which is within the competency framework information, and I will cover that off shortly, and then fill it in a level pack, and I will get to those in a moment. Do those 2 activities and you will achieve your enrolled status. The professional interview only kicks in at the incorporated and the certified. Again, that maps directly to your colleagues and friends and peers who have done the same routes with the Engineering Council and predominantly with any institute under the Engineering Council. That is the route to get incorporated and certified. We do offer, for those senior professionals, a certified fast track, but slightly different process there, and that we will talk through with the candidate if they feel that they merit the fast track. So alongside the competency framework that we launched and the accreditation revamp that we did, we also re-looked at our level packs. I don't know if there's anybody on the call, I know of at least one I know, that actually tried to do or did do their accreditation up until about 18 months ago. The level packs were not that straightforward. They weren't that simple to follow. I'm not going to say they're simple to complete because that means it's easy. It isn't easy. It's a comprehensive demonstration of your knowledge, your skills and behaviours at every level. But we have tried to make the level pack less of an onerous activity. We've given plenty of space to fill in, and it's free text. We don't limit the number of words. We provide you with guidance notes, and we provide you with examples of how to fill that in. We actively encourage and request that you do your own self-competency, and I'll show you that on this next slide. So within the competency framework and the level pack, there is a personal development plan. We will ask you to complete that as you fill in the level pack and look at which level you think you are going to apply for, because that gives you the tools and the, do I really know that? Yes, I think I do. Can I demonstrate that? How do I demonstrate that? Yes, I think I have, because I've got this evidence from this particular project and this example that I can provide. So we give you the tools to enable you to complete this much more straightforwardly than you were able to 2 to 3 years ago. I've mentioned the qualifications a couple of times. I just wanted to put this slide in here to say this is what the front covers look like. This is what's involved in it. The level 3 is equivalent to A level, but it is the only technical qualification for project control out there. It will test you to write down your evidence. It will then give you knowledge tests to demonstrate that evidence, and it encourages technical discussions with your assessor. The level 6 is broadly equivalent to undergraduate, and you can do that like our accreditation pathways. You can do that through either a cost route, a planning route, an estimating route, or a project control route. So again, I'm hoping by now, after sort of nearly 15-20 minutes, you can see that we have underpinned our accreditation pathway and our competency framework against the standards that have been published and that we have all worked together to deliver. And linking it all together, and again, I can't see you all, but I will ask when I stop sharing the slides, how many of you have either got a copy of the project controls in the 21st century, or you know your employer has got, or that you've got access to. And the reason I mention that is this book was published last year, no, nearly 2 years ago now, and it was published and was co-written in collaboration with the APM and ourselves, and really brings together all that I have spoken about so far today. And what I've done is a great quote from Paul Kitson, who was the lead author. Not a quote, actually, sorry, a really good demonstration of what this book was written for and why it was written. And on the same page was a great quote from Albert Einstein, which I've just put into the presentation. And I'm hoping I'm making sense as I talk through this process with you. It is available online for you all to purchase. And if you are a member, there is a discount available. If you work for a corporate member, you can equally claim that discount. And if you are not necessarily part of a corporate member with the Controls and Skills Authority, I know that if your company is a member of APM, there is also a discount available. It is a great book. I'm going to say that because I wasn't part of the author group, but been heavily involved with it for many years and been part of ECITB's NOSIS for many years. It's a thick book. It's got 41 chapters, over 600 pages, but it is easy to read, easy to understand, and really should be your Bible for bringing you forward and helping you get on your accreditation pathway. The next few slides is really how to actually start that journey. And if any of you are members and you want to follow alongside with me and you've not already done this, please do. I'm not going to go and do this live. I'm going to talk through the slides, but it's all accessible on our website as to how you apply for your accreditation. As I mentioned at the beginning, if you want to become a member, you click this blue button, but if you are a member, you need to sign in to see some of this information. It's only visible behind your members firewall. And again, blue box at the top to sign in. If you are not signed in, this is what you will see. So this is under professional recognition, the drop-down box, individual accreditation. The next slide shows some of this page, if as a general page to non-members, any stakeholders that are wanting to understand what we do, how to get there, they see this. So they see the application process, they see the ERIC image that I've already shared, and a little bit of wording about how long we've had this process, this accreditation pathway, and what's there. But if you are a member and you want to actually get engaged and have a look and read further information and also start the application process, there's two buttons. There's a new application, and if you've already done it, you can upgrade, because we do offer this 4-tiered process. You need to sign in. So if you're not already signed in at the top and you click new application, it will bring you this member login. It will ask you to log in. So log in. This is what you now see. So some of these images I've already shared. So it's a long page, but these images are already on this page. Welcome to the journey. How you get there. So register and prepare, confirm you're a member, make sure you've got all the documentation, you can and you fill in the application, you complete the level pack, you get a sponsor, you submit to assessment, the assessor's review, and the award and the next steps. The assessor review, if you are undertaking incorporated or certified, will be undertaken through booking your interview ahead of schedule when you're ready to do so. So what I mean by that is we will have windows of opportunity to have your accreditation interviews, and they will be accessible via the via our calendar. So you can start to plan. We like planning. Start to plan and put your own deadlines in as to when you want to get your professional accreditation status done. Once you've completed the application form and you've received your level pack, which will involve a payment, you only have 6 months to complete that in. Again, we've taken membership advice on that. And again, we've put that at 6 months. If there are extenuating circumstances, we will, please do contact us. And so another point about our website, if you've not been in and not behind the members firewall, anything that's in blue is a clickable activity. So competency framework, click that. That takes you to this page, which is accessible from the front page, but it will take you directly to there. And the images I was showing a couple of slides ago are against the competency discipline framework. Further down the main page of accreditation, there are some frequently asked questions. And again, you will see that there are links to the UK standard, the National Occupational Standards and the BSI, as well as interview guidance for you. Application form. This is the application form. It's online. It's really straightforward to do. The red stars are the mandatory, and you will see here that if you are doing your enrolled or incorporated, we ask you which one you are doing, and please supply the relevant certificate at this stage. If you require a sponsor, then that needs to be filled in, and then press submit. That's what you need to do. Other areas that are available to members only are the past journals. So for the last 5 years, the journals are available to you. Technical articles are also available to you, and your members forum, where you can engage with the community, is also available once you have signed in and you're on the front page. As I said at the beginning, under the agenda, there are very many ways of getting engaged with us and understanding more about the authority and understanding more about our networking groups. So we have a number of communities of practice, and these are growing. So currently we have planning and scheduling community of practice, digital community of practice, estimating commercial risk. We're in the process of we've got women in project control. We're in the process of creating a young professional one and a sustainability one. So a number of communities of practice for you to get engaged in. We also host a number of webinars, a number of events face-to-face, as I've said, and these are the next 6 or 7 that are coming up between now and the end of September. All of them will give you the ability to network and learn across a variety of different skills. I am going to highlight the 3rd of September because we are going up to Scotland, we're going up to Glasgow, where we want to relaunch and get the Scottish region active. So if you are based in Scotland or based and can get, or north of England and can get to Glasgow, or you've got colleagues that actually want to understand more about us, come and meet Michelle, Banner and myself, then please encourage them to come along to the 3rd of September, and we'd love to meet you all. Ways to stay in touch. Every webinar we deliver is now uploaded to our YouTube site, so there is a growing number of webinars that are available to you on there, and we have thriving LinkedIn groups, the main page, and then we have 4 of our communities of practice who are beginning to get more engaged on LinkedIn. I'm going to stop sharing there because I can't see if anybody has put in anything in the chat or the Q&A, or I have completely overwhelmed you with lots of information. I can see there's a couple of questions in here. And I was talking to a member of the authority just about an hour ago and said that I can guarantee what one of the questions will be. And Wayne, you've asked exactly the question I was expecting you to say if I hadn't got to it first. Not you per se to say, somebody to say, I will hasten to add. So everything I have shared and that includes the British standard, that includes our competency matrix, and our accreditation pathways are all version 1. The National Occupational Standards has gone through many iterations, and the reason I'm slowing down to answer this question is risk and change are absolutely in the National Occupational Standards. They're also units within, and they're embedded into the vocational qualifications for project control and the apprenticeship standards for project control. There is a change management competency within our competency framework. There is a risk competency within the competency framework, but I know that's not the question. I'm getting to the question. I am going to say to you that version 2, I would probably say almost 100% will include risk. It is something we've been asked from the day that we launched it. What are you going to do about risk? Will you have risk included? So we are working on version 2. I'm not going to give timescales publicly, but risk will certainly be there. I don't know about change yet, but this is where we take your feedback. We work for you on your behalf as members, and risk for certain, there will be a pathway. I would imagine we will also start to engage with change, but we have to be careful of the other professional bodies that are out there that do offer relatively similar opportunities, but risk is certainly going to be there. So next question, Stuart. Thank you for the question, and thank you for joining us on this call. What is the criteria for a sponsor and how are they obtained? A sponsor does not need to be a member of the authority. I will put that there. A sponsor needs to be a senior professional within your business, ideally. So somebody that knows you, somebody that can, that if we need to go back and confirm with them that you are who you say you are and that you've got the knowledge and skills and behaviours that we can see that you've written down. So a sponsor needs to be a senior professional that you have worked with, that you know would support you in your application. I hope that makes sense to you as a question. Leon, what are the benefits that come from getting certified accreditation? What are the ongoing requirements? So benefits, these are growing on an almost weekly basis. And by that, I mean, I am talking to more and more corporates about the fact that they have embedded our competency framework into their personal development plans for their staff. I am also talking to corporates and clients, and some of which are on the slide and others which are not yet, that are writing into their job specs, their external job applications, their job requirements for recruiting, that they want to have and want to see people in the project control community that are either engaged in accreditation or have achieved accreditation, in the same way that your peers and colleagues who have done engineering accreditation have that mapped into their job applications now and interview processes. So the demand for project control is growing exponentially. You all have a great career and have had and are having a great career. That is not going to change. The demand for project control personnel is growing. What is changing is many clients, many contractors, many organizations are now wanting to see your competency, wanting to see your behaviors and your skills mapped against a recognized, internationally recognized, British recognized competency framework and accreditation pathway. That is what we are now doing. That is what we are offering. That is what every conversation I'm having with a new company member or not new company member yet is engaged with. I've got companies coming to me and going, we are test driving this with their senior professionals. So they are doing it through their test driving senior professionals to get accredited, and then they will become company members. So the benefits are, you are going to be able to demonstrate that you are as competent as you know you are, with having that peer recognized qualification that your colleagues that have worked in industry have had the opportunity to for many decades if they were engineers. Ongoing requirements. As a member of the authority, there is an ongoing requirement to ensure that your CPD is kept up to date. That is mapped alongside accreditation. So as a member of the authority, you need to ensure that you are doing up to 25 to 30 hours of CPD a year. If you get your professional accreditation, it is absolutely mandatory, and audits are done against that on a very regular basis. So the ongoing requirements are you need to ensure your CPD is up to date. If you choose not to be a member, you also will lose the accreditation status. No, the other way around. If you, you cannot claim to be a member of the authority and have accreditation status. So you, hopefully that answers that question. And someone's put something in the Q&A. No, that was, no, there is, hold on. Louis, for the events, does it matter if you're not normally located in that region? No, absolutely not. If you can get to an event, we don't restrict them to the event, if that makes sense. Webinars are for anybody anywhere in the world, and also events if you want to fly in. When we had people fly in from South Africa and Australia to our conference this year, for example. So no, if you can get to the event and you're interested, please come along. They're not restricted at all. Let me just go back to Kulis, thanks for the question. I know we've already had some conversations on email on this. No, I would, my answer to you in front of everybody is go and have a look at the links to the level 3 and level 6 that are available as to what you actually need to require. You do not need to be a member of the authority to undertake them. They are separate qualifications. They are not part of the membership of the authority. If you wanted to use the qualifications to get you the accreditation, then yes, you need to be a member. But to actually do the vocational qualifications, you do not need to be a member. If you've had that level of experience, I would suggest you are probably more suited to the level 6. The caveat to that is the level 6 is more of a management leadership qualification, and therefore you will need to demonstrate if you actually undertake that level of engagement in your day-to-day role. But have a look at the units and have a look at what is required under those units and whether you've got the evidence to support that. I can give you much more, but outside of the context of this call. And another message. Oh, okay, thank you. I realise I've spoken at you for nearly 50 minutes. I know we've had some questions and I've probably created a lot more questions. Is there anything, because I know there's some, is there anything else that anybody wants to ask me or that you think I've forgotten that you want to mention that I might have forgotten that might be of benefit to everybody on the call? I think you can all speak if you wish or put your hands up, because I think I've unmuted everybody. Is certified status same as chartership and accreditation leads the path? Yes, it is. So I don't know when you came into the call, Kingsley, but I know I've spoken a lot. Certified is currently the terminology for the highest level of accreditation that is available. We are working with the Privy Council to convert that certified to chartership. Once we have that, we will be encouraging all of those people that are certified and we will give them the chartership status. The route to get there is identical to the requirements for chartership. So by that I mean is application process, fill in the level pack. The level pack maps against the engineering council requirements and therefore maps against what the Privy Council require for chartership, and it is identical. And the professional interview you need to undertake is equally identical to the chartership professional interview you will need to take. So hopefully that answers that. Will chartership be available for all disciplines? Absolutely. So if I go back to the slides, hopefully, and just go back up the slide pack, if I can do it quickly enough. No, what I'll do is I'll stop sharing, go back to the slide that showed that, and just to reiterate that again. Absolutely, certified chartership is available across all of the, and you can't, you know, when you can't find something quickly enough. There we go. Right, let me just share the screen again. There we go. It is absolutely available against cost, estimating, planning, and project controls. As an example of that, I'm in consultation with a infrastructure client who are looking to put 10 of their seniors through the certified planning professional. Yet I've got from another utility organisation four senior individuals going through their certified estimating professional. So yes, all four are available for certified at that level. So lovely, thank you, Lewis. Yeah, any more questions before I give you 5-6 minutes back of your lunch break? As I said, this is being recorded and it will go up onto YouTube as I go through the afternoon, and the slides I will put again under the membership portal for you to access via your membership pathway. Oh, someone else has come into the Q&A. If you get certified, yes, it will absolutely get certified. It will get converted to chartership. Absolutely. Thank you, Janelle. Okay. Well, thank you for your time today. I hope it all made sense. I hope it's answered lots of questions. I hope it's also given you lots of questions and also given you the thought to actually, yeah, why don't I go and get this done? And if that is the case, please do reach out to me and we can get that process. Rod, did you want to say something? Did you just flick in?
No, I was just clapping to say thank you.
Oh, thank you. And hopefully, well, yeah, Rod, I wasn't sure if you were still on the call. The question I asked if anybody wanted to just me to add anything I'd forgotten. So if you're not adding anything in, Rod, I'll take that. I think I've covered everything that I need to cover without confusing people any further. For those of you that I know, lovely to see you all. For those of you I don't know, I hope I will talk to you all soon. And have a great afternoon, people. Thank you.
Cheers. Thanks, Dawn.
Thank you.
See you again.
Thank you, Dawn. Take care.
See you around.
Bye-bye.